Hello everyone, welcome to Tara IAS. Think IAS, think Tara, and welcome to today's Abhyasana session. So I'll give you a quick review of how the Abhyasana session works and then we can continue with today's session. Right? Manandarki telusinde that through Abhyasana we are going to attempt the answer writing, the art of answer writing. Right? Deenni solve cheyadaniki we have come up with this program called Abhyasana. So on a daily basis, we are going to pick up a question. We are first dealing with the previous year questions, right? So mains papers nunchi every day, barring Sunday. That means except for Sunday, Monday to Saturday, every day you will have an opportunity of answering a previous year question by yourself, getting it evaluated by us, and also looking at how the answer actually has to be solved. So daniki model answer ela untundo kuda chudabothunam. So this is actually going to be a really good exercise for you because on a weekly basis, right? So you will be solving around 6 questions in a week, and in a month 24 questions, right? So you can calculate it like how many questions you will be able to solve in an year. So daily oka half an hour మీరు టైం స్పేర్ చేస్తే you will be able to clear this area, the answer writing area in mains as well. Alright, so ఈ అభ్యాసన program ఎలా వర్కౌట్ అవుతుందో, what are the features and how does this program work, దాని గురించి ఒక 2 minutes మాట్లాడదాం. Right, so every day at 6 p.m. a question will be posted on our websites, be it the Telegram channel, right? Then you will be having time until 12 p.m. the next day to answer it. Okay, ఈ క్వశ్చన్ ని ఆన్సర్ చేసి PDF ఫార్మాట్ లో you can mail it to us. The mail ID is answertoabhyasana@gmail.com. Once you share your answers to us, our faculty will evaluate the answer, will take time, will evaluate the answer and share with you the feedback. మీరు ఇచ్చిన ఆన్సర్కి ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ మీకు మళ్ళీ 24 hours లో వచ్చేస్తుంది, రైట్? సో బికాస్ our faculty is investing their time, we request you to share your answers to us before 12 p.m. right? By 12 p.m. Then on the same day 4 p.m. ki on our YouTube channel a detailed discussion video, right? A detailed video of the answer will be uploaded. So you can check how the answer has to be attempted, the model answer and everything related to that question. Okay, so this is how Abhyasana program works. Take the best advantage of this program, right? And yes, this is going to help you improve your skills. Alright, so Abhyasana gurinchi teluskunnam kada. So let us enter into today's session, and today it is going to be GS paper 2. So we are going to solve a question from polity. Alright, so munduga we will read the question. Compare and contrast the British and Indian approaches to parliamentary sovereignty. Right? What is the examiner asking you to do? He's asking you to compare and contrast. Direct gaane compare chesemani adugutunnaru. There is there's nothing tricky in the question. Okay, British and Indian parliamentary sovereignty gurinchi, how does British behave and how does Indian government, how does Indian approach behave? You have to compare and give a contrast between the two. Arundit madhyalo differences enti, arunditni compare chestu answer anedi rayali. Deni gurinchi maatladutunnamu? Parliamentary sovereignty. Now what does sovereignty mean? It is the concept of self-governing and the feeling of being supreme within the borders. రైట్. ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ మీరు ఒక బ్యాచులర్ అనుకోండి, సో యూ విల్ బి మీ రూమ్లో, ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ స్టేయింగ్ ఇన్ అ పీజీ ఆర్ ఇఫ్ యూర్ స్టేయింగ్ ఇన్ అ హౌస్, సో మీ రూమ్ ఉన్నంత వరకు యూ కెన్ డూ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ వాంట్ డూ. సో యూఆర్ సుప్రీం ఇన్ యువర్ రూమ్ అండ్ యూ కెన్ ఆల్సో సెల్ఫ్ గవర్న్. ఆ రూమ్లో ఉన్న యూనో ఏది ఎక్కడ ఉంచాలి, ఏం ఎక్కడ పెట్టాలి, ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దట్ సెల్ఫ్ గవర్నింగ్ యూ కెన్ డూ బై యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. నో వన్ ఇస్ గోయింగ్ టు కమ్ అండ్ డిస్టర్బ్ యూ. Now, outside the room, if you're living in your house, outside the room, in the living space, you cannot, mess up with things. Your mom is going to come and thrash you out, right? So, in my house, I can do self-governance and I'm supreme. I hold supreme power within my house. So, this is sovereignty, right? So, parliamentary sovereignty విషయానికి వస్తే, how are the British approaches and how are Indian approaches different? So, this is the question. Now, one more point. Now we understood what the question is. Now let us see how much time has to be taken to answer this question. Now 10 marks question. Kabatti, you will finish the answer within 5 to 7 minutes. Okay? 5 to 7 minutes of your time lo try to complete the answer. And yes, 150 words. So you will take 2 pages to write the answer. Right? Now 5 to 7 anna dagar you can also make it 7 to 8 minutes to complete your answer, but do not take much time exceeding this. Right? So we've understood the question, we've understood how much time has to be allotted to this answer. Now let us see what the approach should be. Okay, alright, introduction ఎలా ఉండాలి? Define parliamentary sovereignty and contextualize its importance in the UK and India. Now parliamentary sovereignty ఏంటి? The power of the parliament to make laws. The power of parliament to make laws that are governing within the borders of both UK and India. Now ఈ powers లో UK and India ki there are differences within these powers as well. What are those differences? దాని గురించే మనం మాట్లాడాలి. ఓకే, బాడీ విషయానికి వస్తే బేసిక్స్. ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ద పార్లమెంటరీ సావరెనిటీ ఇన్ జనరల్ టర్మ్స్. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ కంపారిజన్ టేబుల్. ప్రెజెంట్ కీ డిఫరెన్సెస్ అండ్ సిమిలారిటీస్ ఇన్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ లైక్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్, జ్యుడిషియల్ రివ్యూ, ఫెడరలిజం, ఫండమెంటల్ రైట్స్ అండ్ అమెండ్మెంట్స్. రైట్? ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ పైన హౌ ఆర్ బోత్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్ యాక్టింగ్, వాట్ ఆర్ దేర్ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ అని మాట్లాడుకుంటూ వీల్ డ్రా అ కంపారిజన్ టేబుల్, బికాస్ హీ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఆస్క్డ్ us to compare and contrast. Okay, next analysis. Elaborate on how historical and political contexts shape their respective models. The history of UK, the history of India, right? How did these models or these events shape the parliamentary sovereignty in their respective countries? This will be our body. Next, conclusion vishayaniki koste, what should the conclusion have? Highlight India's balanced approach between parliamentary sovereignty and constitutional supremacy compared to UK's absolute parliamentary authority. Right? I hope this point we are clear. We all know that in India, constitution is the ultimate law on land. Right? Ultimate priority is given to constitution. It is only supreme. There is no other body that is supreme in India. But in UK, it is the parliament that is given the higher authority. Dani gurinchi maatladukuntu we will conclude the answer. ఓకే, సో క్వశ్చన్ని అర్థం చేసుకున్నాము అండ్ వాట్ షుడ్ బి రిటన్ ఇన్ ద ఆన్సర్ అది కూడా చూసుకున్నాము. నౌ లెట్ us see the model answer. ఓకే, ఇంట్రొడక్షన్ సైడ్ హెడింగ్ రాయకూడదు. And ideally, your introduction has to end within 2 to 3 lines. You can exceed it from 4 to 5 lines, but do not exceed more. And introduction lo em rastaru, whatever you're writing in the body, dani gurinchi maatladutu maatrame make sure you're writing the introduction. Okay, do not go out of the scope. Parliamentary sovereignty denotes the supreme legal authority of the legislature, that is the parliament, to make laws, amend laws or repeal laws without external constraint. While the United Kingdom and India adopt parliamentary governance in the parliamentary model ni adopt cheskunaru, their approaches to sovereignty diverge due to constitutional judicial and federal distinctions. Constitutional, Indian constitution and UK constitutions have, disparities. They are different. Judiciary law, both of them are different. And the power of what do these two countries think about federalism. ఇవి కూడా డిఫరెంట్ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి అల్టిమేట్లీ ద పార్లమెంటరీ గవర్నెన్స్, ద పార్లమెంటరీ సావరెనిటీ is also different. Okay, this was a simple gist of parliamentary sovereignty. Manam definition of parliamentary sovereignty chepkunnamo, and we again came back to what is the examiner asking us to do. Right, he's asking us to compare kabatti dani gurinchi kuda oka chinna brief ichchesam ikkada. All right, next, body. Do not again write the side heading as body. Body lo we are going to directly straight away compare and give the contrast. All right. Right. With respect to, so how is the parliamentary sovereignty in United Kingdom and India different with respect to constitution? Okay. Now, the constitution in United Kingdom is uncodified. Right, we know that United Kingdom does not have a special book. Manaki India lo constitution elaga undo, UK doesn't have it. Okay, so there are laws, previous ga cheskunna laws, previous ga pass cheskunna acts, avannitni constitution ane consider chestaru. Parliamentary sovereignty is flexible and underpinned by conventions and precedents. So they do not have a book kabatti, it is flexible. You can make new laws, you can amend previous laws. Okay, mana India lo, because it is a strict rigid book, already we've written a book and we've compiled it kabatti a book ni marchadaniki dantlo changes cheyadaniki it is, there are few constraints. It is not that easy because our constitution is codified. Parliamentary powers are explicitly defined and subject to constitutional constraints. They're already defined. Judicial review. Courts cannot invalidate parliamentary laws, affirming absolute sovereignty. Parliament lo edaina law pass chesindante the judiciary in UK cannot invalidate them. So there is absolute sovereignty, complete sovereignty of the parliament. But here in India, judiciary can annul laws contravening the constitution, ensuring checks and balances. As I mentioned, the constitution in India is the ultimate law on land. No one can go against it. So the judiciary is going to come and check if the law passed by the parliament is abiding by the constitution. If not, it can simply annul the law. So this judicial power is to check and balance. The special power of judiciary, that it does checks and balances. Alright, the federal structure, unitary. Parliament retains a centralized and indivisible sovereignty. UK has a unitary form of governance. Right? India vishanikoste, India is federal, where sovereignty is distributed between the union and state legislatures. Right? Fundamental rights, they are not entrenched, relies on statutes and common law for individual rights protection. Whereas the fundamental rights in India are entrenched. Parliament is constrained by enforceable fundamental rights and basic structure doctrine. UK law, as I mentioned, the constitution is not written, so there have few papers of laws, లేదా ముందు ఎప్పుడో రాసుకున్న కొన్ని పాలసీస్ కానీ కొన్ని స్టాచ్యూట్స్ ఆర్ అగైన్ లాస్. సో ఎప్పుడో రాసుకున్నవి దే కన్సిడర్ ఇట్ యాజ్ దేర్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ద ఫండమెంటల్ రైట్స్ ఆర్ నాట్ ఎంట్రెన్చ్డ్. దట్ మీన్స్ దే ఆర్ నాట్ ఫర్మ్, దే ఆర్ నాట్ firmly binding to the people of UK. But in India, the fundamental rights are entrenched. That means there are binding, there are firm, they have to be available to the citizens. It is very strict in India, right? But here this fundamental rights relies on the laws that they are made and the common law for individual rights protection, the law in the United Kingdom. Okay. Amendments, coming to amendments, there is no distinct procedure in the United Kingdom. Parliament can alter laws and constitutional principles without any restriction. but in India requires a robust process of involving special majorities and state ratifications for constitutional amendments. So this is how both the nations that have adopted for the parliamentary sovereignty, that means the supremacy of the parliament to make laws, concept okate aina, differences, how are they treating it is very, very different, right? How is United Kingdom, experiencing actual sovereignty or complete sovereignty of the parliament, or how is India, experiencing partial or, the sovereignty with checks and balances, divided sovereignty, right? All of these concepts you have to explain with respect to the aspects. All right. So we are done with giving a comparison table and showing the contrast between both the nations. Now conclusion. Time to conclude. Now again, conclusion and side heading rayakudu. Ideally, your conclusion has to end within 2 to 3 lines, but you can extend it from 4 to 5 lines. And దేని గురించి రాస్తారు, బాడీలో దేని గురించి అయితే రాసారో దాని గురించి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తూ మాత్రమే you will conclude the answer. Always remember, do not go out of this scope while you're attempting an answer. Okay, let us see what the model conclusion has to look like. The UK exemplifies absolute parliamentary supremacy, right? Exemplifies ante it has a good example of complete parliamentary supremacy shaped by historical precedents, while India's parliamentary sovereignty is tempered by constitutional supremacy and judicial oversight, reflecting a nuanced balance within its democratic framework. This, via media, ensures that legislative authority aligns with constitutional principles and federal dynamics. Media is considered as the fourth pillar in the democratic setup. Right? So what are we trying to say? That UK lo parliamentary sovereignty antunamu, but parliament is given ultimate supremacy. It is exemplifying ultimate supremacy because it was shaped by the historical precedents. Mundu history lo edaithe jarukuntu vachindho dani valla ultimate ga today the parliament in UK is enjoying complete supremacy. But India, considering the historical events, constitutional is the ultimate supreme on land. So మీరు పార్లమెంట్ లాస్ పాస్ చేసుకున్నా కూడా కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ని అబైడ్ అవ్వాలి. ఇది అబైడ్ అవుతుందా లేదా చెక్ చేసేది ఎవరు? ద జుడిషియరీ, ద సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ అండ్ ద హై కోర్ట్స్, రైట్? సో జుడిషియరీ అండ్ ద కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ఆర్ దేర్ టు check and balance the power of parliament to make laws. And the fourth pillar, that is the media, is also there to make sure that the legislative authority aligns with the constitutional principles and the federal dynamics. So this was our conclusion, where we concluded saying that yes, inka detailed ga how are they different ani chepkuntu we ended our answer. Alright, so this was today's Abhyasana session. This was today's model answer of how to approach the question and how to write the answer. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed this session. Until next session, take care of yourselves. Bye bye. Also, wishing you all a very happy new year, and let us meet in the next year.